So if you look at any political analysis where you have left or right or progressive or conservative, and you do it with any sort of intelligence, you realize that a human being is beyond all analysis. A human being is always with some degree of any kind of measurement, with some degree of a component within them that pertains to a political view. Take, for example, if you take something like conservatism. Ultimately, the core reason we have conservatism, the real bedrock of what conservatism is that it is to conserve something. It literally means what it says it is to be. The thing is what it says it is. A thing is what it says it is, and a label lives up to what its name is. And the question is, well, what do you want to conserve? If you look at any human being, there are certain things you want to conserve. You want to conserve your health. You want to conserve your lifestyle. You want to conserve your well-being. You want to conserve your livelihood. You want to conserve whatever it is that's within you. Now, you can say that some things you don't need to conserve and you need to do away with. Well, that's what we can argue about. That's what we can have as differences. Now, we take it from the other side. Progressivism. We need to progress. Every human being will agree that there are things that need to grow. There are things that need to change, things that need to evolve. You need to grow your understanding. You need to grow your livelihood. You need to grow the equality between us, the diversity between us, the love, connection, awareness, understanding, intelligence, meditation, consciousness, all of it between us. Yes? And even if you're a conservative, you're believing that by saying, well, we need to progress the religious structures that we have, the stories of humanity through the world religions that we have. It's just a different take. It's just a different flavor to it. It's still a progressive. So if you do any sort of analysis on a human being, if you do any sort of measurement of left or right or what it is that you want or what it is that you're trying to do, you see that you have every single aspect to you. You have both the conservative bone in your body and the liberal bone in your body. You have both left and right. And literally, when you look at this, you say, do you have a left hand? Do you have a right hand? And of course, unless you're an amputee, you do. You have both. You have left and you have right. So why would you be in antagonism between them? Why would you not see that you need both of them? You need to understand both of them. So when we look at politics, it is very much a matter of value spheres. It is very much a matter of what people want. Now, people have their pet beliefs about Jesus and the Bible and all the rest of it, and they need to be allowed to have those beliefs. They need to be allowed to live in the structure that they are within, and yet also we need to have the space for people to go beyond that, to live larger than that, to live in a space that accounts for that as something smaller in the larger human consciousness. Now, it's absolutely critical that you understand something of spiral dynamics. When I say the grand spectrum of human consciousness, it means that a paradigm that you come across needs to be allowed to live and be unto itself and also be a smaller part of something larger. When you look at spiral dynamics, you see there are paradigms that relate to each other and they interconnect with each other and they have particular phases as to why they go from one to another. And they match with the technological advances of the age. Yeah, we've come from hunter-gatherer to agriculture to industrial revolution to technological and informational ages. We've had these changes, and yet every single person still has to go through them. It's sort of like this. If a belief structure, if a belief structure or a paradigm or a perspective or a way of viewing the world was a building, then human beings would always be building new buildings, new cities, skyscrapers, and all the rest of it, and they would remain there for anyone to occupy at any time. And it's every single person's journey to come into the world and explore the different rooms of the house. They need to go down to the basement. They need to look in the living room. They need to look at commercial high-rise apartments. They need to discover what a beachfront property is like, what it's like to stay in a 5-star hotel. They need to find a place where they feel comfortable. They need to find a home where they are able to live. And yet they need to also recognize that other people want to live in their place and be in their place. And the real truth of the people who want to progress are the people who want to continue exploring, the people that want to go out and find new ways of living, new places to live, new buildings, new ways of having structures. And the structures will always be there, yes? Christianity is always going to be there to be discovered for each person who is born. The rationalistic paradigm, rationalism, is always going to be there for someone to grow into and out of and beyond. Pluralism, multidimensional perspective is always going to be there. It's well established. A lot of the things that you discover, and this is actually a very large realization that you have for yourself as you're growing, as you grow up and you come out of your childish paradigm, you see that, my belief structure is a well-trodden path. And instead of taking that as evidence of it being true and right, it's evidence of it being something that is well accounted for, and we actually need to go beyond. And it's still the establishment. It's an establishment of something that is like just given as a simplicity. Yeah, it's sort of like you got to grow out of it. So this is the life of. Are you on the highway, or are you making your own path? Are you living like the sheep, cattle of the herd, which, you need to be allowed to do? Or are you finding new structures and exploring new structures? And there is a frontier, yes. There is an innovation of the pioneers. There are people who push the edge. They push to the edge of the universe. Just like we have the astronomers who are working on the edge of the observable universe. You realize there's an edge to this. There's an edge where an astronomer looks through a telescope, sees a star, and accounts for where it is, and there's not been anywhere beyond that, further than that, yes? And of course, it's a very complex thing. Astronomy has its science behind it, and there's all the different telescopes and space probes that we have now. It's a huge thing. It's not going to be just one person. You work in a team and you do your PhD, and it's this big thing, right? But there is a precipice. It's the people that are working in that world that know the precipice. They find the edge. And it's because they do that they can see something that is much more clear than just the cozy little world that you live in, that you and I live in, yes? We leave the astronomy to the astronomers. So this debate of left and right in politics, it's childish, because we need to be able to see that there's a larger spectrum of human consciousness. Before we go any further, I do need to mention I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm asking you to subscribe because I need to find the people who are listening along with my story. Here is where I share what has helped me, what has affected me, and what is real to me. If you can engage by leaving a comment, clicking the like button, sharing an episode with a friend, that helps me expand and grow my audience. I can't do it without you. I really need your help. I do have online courses. I do have an audiobook. I have online courses, and I'm very thankful for your help. So we continue this conversation. This is just the beginning of this conversation. Left and right as antagonistic entities unto themselves is as idiotic as having your left hand having an argument with your right hand, and vice versa. So we'll be back very soon with more. Check out the audiobook.